Today I'm making a delicious, easy and quick pasta with lentils with you. Quick. Yes, because since there's never any time, I'll make it. With pre-cooked lentils. Make this recipe with me because with a few little tricks, even though the lentils are pre-cooked, I think they're still good. You end up with a really good dish. Let's get started. First, I make a quick vegetable broth. So in a pot, I put the celery. Then I add the carrot, few cherry tomatoes or a bit of tomato paste, or some tomato puree if you prefer. Otherwise, you can just leave it plain. And besides what I'm adding, if you want, you can also add a zucchini and a potato and make it a bit simpler. Then I add the onion, the salt. After that, I put it on the stove and let it boil for at least 30-35 minutes. By the way, let me remind you that my 2 cookbooks are available only on Amazon, worldwide. Search for Carlo Gaiano recipe book and you'll receive them in at most 2 days. Perfect. Now I'll cut a bit of carrot. Just like for the broth, I don't know if you can see it, I left the skin on, obviously brushed well under running water. Then I'll cut a bit of celery. If you have children or people who don't particularly like vegetables, instead of chopping celery, carrot, and onion, I would suggest blending them. Thank you. I cut a little bit of onion. I also cut a small potato, which will give it a nice bit of creaminess. Cut the potato into small pieces, otherwise it might not cook through. After that, I move to the stove and put some extra virgin olive oil in a pan, then add the freshly chopped vegetables. Please, when you do this, be very gentle and always use the back of the knife. Otherwise, you might end up eating it. Tiny pieces, obviously, of wood or plastic from the cutting board. Add a clove of garlic cut in half and let it brown over low heat for a few minutes. Perfect. Now I remove the garlic. I add the lentils, which, as I mentioned before, you see in this strainer because I rinsed them. Then, still on low heat, I let them absorb the flavor for a couple of minutes in the sautéed oil. And then I add chocolate. 5-6 ladles of boiling vegetable broth. Oh. Then I add a bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and I cook it over high heat for at least 15 minutes. Okay. Now I mash the potatoes a bit. If you want, you can also blend it a bit with the immersion blender, but let's say the goal is just to mash it a little. The potatoes. Now I add the pasta. And I let it cook, adding more boiling broth only if necessary. Okay, 2 minutes before it's done cooking, I turn off the heat and let it rest uncovered for 3-4 minutes. And here it is. Now I'll plate it, drizzle of oil, rosemary, and I'll taste it with you.
Mamma mia!
Make it and let me know what you think in the comments below. For now, I'll say goodbye, and as usual, before I leave you, I want to wish you a good meal.